Thank you so much for joining me. This next class is going to be focused around balance. We're going to start to move the balance into the hands, maybe just for a split second for this class, and then we're going to take it through some more standing balances and end in a really relaxed reclined place. So meeting me on the mat, starting lying down. So finding your way down onto the back, we're going to start by drawing the knees into the chest. And as you inhale, you're going to extend the legs long, taking the arms behind, exhaling, drawing everything all the way back into the middle. And maybe finding a little rock from side to side, allowing yourself to ease into the movement slowly, breathing in, extending, exhaling, drawing everything all the way back into center. And now keeping that movement going with your own breathing rhythm. So as you exhale, drawing everything inwards, and as you inhale, reaching the hands and the feet apart. And again, taking a little moment just to notice if the breath is really fast, or maybe it's really slow and steady and smooth. It doesn't need to be any particular way. But just taking a little moment at the very beginning to notice how everything's feeling, how everything's moving. And then when you make your way back to that center point where we've got the knees into the chest, we're going to start by finding a little roll up to a seated place. And taking the hands down in front and the knees behind. From here, we're going to take a deep inhale, and if we lift the right foot, we're going to keep a bend at the knee so that the sole of the foot points all the way upwards. As you inhale here, we're going to turn that right knee out to the right, exhaling to lower, and then taking it back down, sinking the hips back, and then lifting all the way back up to center. And if we take that over to the other side, so inhaling, lifting, taking a little roll out of the ankle. With the next inhale, left knee out to the left, exhaling back down to center, taking the left knee alongside the right, sinking the hips back, and then lifting all the way up. Here we go, tucking the toes behind, drawing the breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to send the hips all the way back and up. Downward facing dog. We're taking all the pedals, wriggles and shuffles here that bring you to a place of somewhat neutrality. So again, checking in with all the muscles down the back line of the legs, all through the hips. As you exhale, we're going to bend the knees deeply, looking forwards to space in between the hands. And as you exhale, we're going to see about stepping the feet all the way forwards, tucking the chin, and maybe taking a little sway from side to side, checking in with the lower back, and just making sure everything's feeling somewhat familiar. Rooting down through the feet. As you inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way up, lifting, exhaling, swan diving forwards, taking the hands to the shins, lifting the chest halfway on the inhale. And then as you exhale, bending the knees, landing the hands, stepping the feet back to plank, pressing down through the hands. We're going to take a really deep inhale at the very top. As you exhale, we're going to lower, inhaling, lifting to upward facing dog. And as you exhale, sinking the hips all the way back towards the heels, resting the forehead down. We're taking a little moment here just to allow everything to land. So allowing the head and the hands and the feet to be really heavy. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose and releasing a full exhale. And then if you reach the hands all the way to the very top of the mat with a big inhale, we're going to keep the chest low, drawing it forwards. And then when you reach the hands, lifting into our upward facing dog. And this time as you exhale, we're going to tuck the toes, sending the hips all the way back and up, downward facing dog. And as always, taking all the extra moves, wriggles and shuffles that it takes to find your way back to a place of possibility. And from here, we're going to bend the knees really deeply, but this time, as you exhale, taking a little hop all the way forwards to the very top of the mat, extending the legs long and finding your way back into our forward fold. From here, as you inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up, and then taking the hands down by the side and finding your way into our neutral standing place. From here, we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. So we're finding our figure four legs. It should look a little something like this. So as you roll the shoulders back and lift the chest, we're going to exhale, rooting down through the standing leg. Breathing in, sweeping the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, we're going to slowly, slowly fold forwards. So we're finding our way into a really deep forward fold with a stretch all through the outside of the left hip. So the one that's lifted. And sometimes tucking the chin at the very bottom of the fold is that thing that just makes it all feel a little bit more intense. But you get to make it as intense or not as feels possible. The last optional twist is going to be to see about lifting the hands, taking them behind, interlacing the fingers, pressing the hands all the way back, up and over. If you take one last deep breath, wherever you found yourself, and as you inhale, we're going to lift, uncrossing the legs, sweeping the arms high, exhaling, folding forwards, bending the knees, landing the hands, and stepping the feet back to plank. Rooting down through the hands, we're going to take a deep inhale at the top. As you exhale, we're going to lower, inhaling, lifting to upward facing dog. Exhaling, lifting the hips all the way back and up into our downward facing dog. And again, taking all the little pedals, wriggles and shuffles that make it all feel that little bit more possible. And as you exhale, we're going to sink the knees all the way back towards the hips. We're going to go for the little hop, right? So if you really plant the hands firmly, then we're going to start by sending the weight forwards into the hands, right? So it's a tiny little hop all the way forwards. And when you land, extending the legs, tucking the chin, before breathing in, sweeping the arms all the way up and just out of shot. But if we land in our mountain, this time we're going to see about crossing the right ankle over the left knee and taking a little moment in this figure four legs just to root down through the sole of the left foot. And we're pressing that right knee out to the right. So you have to keep the right glutes engaged. Breathing in, lifting the hands. As you exhale, we're going to find that super slow forward fold, sinking all the way down and maybe tucking the chin at the very bottom. That's that thing that's going to really intensify this. The last optional twist, that's all it is, just an option, is to lift the hands and maybe interlacing the fingers behind the back and pressing the hands all the way up and over. One last deep breath wherever you found yourself. And then releasing the hands, lifting up, landing the feet down. As you inhale, sweeping the arms high, exhaling, folding forwards. This time, we're going to see about heel-toeing the feet as wide as the mat and the toes are turned out. As you exhale, bending the knees really deep, sinking the hips down. And we should find our way into our Malasana squat. So if we've got the elbows in between the knees, then taking the palms to prayer usually presses the knees out a little bit, but we're looking for a place where we can lift the chest. So we want to make sure we're not feeling really hunched over. We want to feel really lifted, rooting down through the feet. So if the soles of the feet aren't quite landed, you can always tuck little blocks under the heels. Sometimes that's that thing that just allows you to lift the chest a little higher. But from here, wherever you found yourself, we're going to take one last really deep inhale. And if I turn back towards the top of my mat, we're all going to land the hands down in front. And if you slowly start to take the weight forwards into the hands, taking a deep inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to hop the feet back to plank, pressing down through the hands, one deep inhale at the top. As you exhale, we're going to lower, inhaling, lifting the chest, upward facing dog. And with a big exhale, sending the hips all the way back into our child's pose. Resting the forehead down, taking a little moment here to just allow everything to slowly start to neutralize, allowing the hands and the feet to relax. And then breathing in, reaching the fingertips forwards. As you inhale, we're going to lift, tucking the toes, and with a big exhale, sending the hips all the way back and up into that downward facing dog one last time. Breathing in as you exhale, sinking the hips back towards the heels. One big inhale here. As you exhale, finding that hop forwards, extending the legs long, tucking the chin, sweeping the arms high, lifting the chest. Exhaling, folding forwards, bending the knees, planting the hands firmly. We're going to go for the hop back. One deep breath here. As you exhale, jumping the feet all the way back to plank. Final deep breath at the very top. Exhaling to lower. Inhaling, lifting the chest upward facing dog. And as you exhale, we're going to keep the chest up, but sinking the hips back. We're going to take the feet out in front. And we're making our way down into our reclined place, finding the most grounding way to allow everything to relax at the end of our short practice here. So drawing a deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly. As you exhale, drawing the knees into the chest. Finding a little rock from side to side. And from here, as you exhale, we're going to see about lowering the knees over to the right and taking all those little wriggles and shuffles that allow you to sink down into a place where you can just allow everything to relax for a few moments. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, just allowing the hands and the feet to rest. All the muscles through the hips, the core, the legs, softening. If you take just one more really deep breath here. And a squeeze to draw the knees all the way up into the chest. As you exhale, we're going to lower them all the way over to the left. I'm going to take a few little wriggles to bring me back onto the mat. When you find that place, you can just allow everything to relax. Noticing if one shoulder presses a little harder into the floor than the other. Maybe the feet slide away a little bit, that's fine. Allowing your body to find that natural stopping point. And when you find that place, taking one last really deep inhale there. And with the next, drawing the knees all the way back up and in. We're going to extend the legs long, finding the most comfortable place to rest the hands. And staying here for just a few moments to rest.